Do you remember when potency and firmness were something that simply happened, effortlessly, without a second thought? If you're a man who has crossed the 60-year mark and feels that sexual vitality, that power, beginning to fade, please listen carefully. This challenge you face, weak erections, a diminished libido, is rarely just a consequence of age. It is, in the vast majority of cases, an internal chemistry crisis. Think about it. If your car's engine becomes sluggish and heavy, you don't blame the old car. You blame the fuel or the dirt clogging it. It's exactly the same with your body. The problem is a silent, acidic enemy that is choking your blood vessels and limiting the production of the magic molecule that gives you the firmness you need for intimacy, nitric oxide. But I have good news. Today we're going to unearth a solution that's been sitting in your cupboard your whole life. A simple, affordable, and scientifically proven ally that can awaken dormant blood vessels, reactivate your circulation, and restore the masculine potency you thought was lost. Baking soda. I'm Dr. Elena Castillo, and my mission on this channel is to offer you real and honest solutions so that your golden years are, in fact, your best years. I've dedicated my career to understanding how the body of an older adult functions, and believe me, the chemistry of aging gives us very clear clues. When we work with the wisdom of nature, the results are amazing. And yes, I'm talking about regaining those morning erections, that confidence in intimacy. No matter your age, you have the right to fulfillment. Let me be very clear about the root of the problem. Our bodies are designed to function in a slightly alkaline state, with an ideal pH of 7.4. Think of this as the perfect operating temperature for an engine. Over the years, due to modern diets, chronic stress, and declining kidney function, this balance is disrupted. The pH of your blood and tissues slowly drops. We're not talking about severe acidosis, but rather a low-grade, constant, and corrosive metabolic acidosis. When the internal environment becomes more acidic, below 7.4, something catastrophic happens to the circulatory system. The blood vessels, which should be elastic and open, become constricted. And most crucially, this acidity acts as a poison to the enzyme that produces nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is the key to an erection. Your body produces it thanks to an enzyme called nitric oxide synthase, which is extremely sensitive to pH. Imagine this enzyme as a factory and acidity as a blackout. When the internal environment is acidic, pH 7.0 or 6.8, the process shuts down, no matter how much stimulation you receive. If there isn't nitric oxide to relax the smooth muscle cells and allow blood flow, the erection will be weak, incomplete, or non-existent. It's a matter of chemistry, and that's why the solution must be chemical. If the problem is chemical, the answer must also be chemical, but accessible and natural. Let's talk about the solution. Baking soda. This simple compound, which many only know as a cooking ingredient or an occasional antacid, is actually one of the most potent and studied alkalizers available. Medically, it's used to reverse severe acidosis, even in hospitals. But what interests us here is its subtle, consistent effect on that low-grade metabolic acidosis that has been silently sabotaging its potency for years. When you consume baking soda correctly, you're introducing a powerful alkaline buffer into your system. This buffer absorbs and neutralizes excess hydrogen ions, the culprits behind acidity. Think of your blood as an acidic sponge. Baking soda is the stream of clean water that restores it. By neutralizing those acids, you gently raise your body's pH back to the ideal range of 7.35 to 7.45. This small but crucial rise in pH is the master key that unlocks your circulatory capacity. The instant your pH normalizes, the nitric oxide synthase enzyme, that erection factory we talked about, is no longer dormant. It's activated. It's as if you flipped the power button on your circulatory system again, a button that had been lying dormant. Nitric oxide production skyrockets. Your cavernous arteries relax and widen, and blood flow returns to normal. This is the biological truth that few share. Restoring potency begins with resetting your internal chemistry. It's your body's natural way of saying, I'm ready to go again. But I know that biology, fascinating as it is needs to be backed up by measurable results, by tangible evidence. And this is where modern science offers us a piece of data that is, frankly, both shocking and hopeful. I want to tell you about a study conducted in Italy. Imagine 150 men, all over 60, dealing with the natural decline in potency and the frustration that comes with it. What the Italian researchers asked of them was a minimal commitment: half a teaspoon of baking soda, dissolved in water, taken daily, for a period of just 3 months. A negligible change in their daily routine, but one that aimed for a monumental result at a chemical level. What did they find after those 90 days? The results exceeded all expectations. Penile blood flow, that engine of erection, increased by an astonishing 55%. More than half of the lost circulatory capacity was restored simply by correcting the pH. Furthermore, they reported a recovery of morning erections in 70% of participants, that key indicator of vascular health that many thought was lost forever. And perhaps the most encouraging finding in terms of quality of life, the frequency of sexual intercourse reported by participants doubled. This demonstrates that the internal restoration of chemical balance has a direct and immediate effect on their sexual vitality. And this brings us to the heart of why the Golden Protocol works. We're not talking about a magic bullet, but a smart biochemical optimizer. Sodium bicarbonate acts as a buffer, neutralizing the excess metabolic acidity that inevitably builds up with age, stress, and the modern diet, and which literally suffocates cellular function. Think of nitric oxide. NO is the unsung hero of your vascular system, directly responsible for relaxing and widening arteries to allow massive blood flow, the engine of a robust and sustained erection. When your internal pH is low and acidic, the production and availability of nitric oxide are dramatically inhibited. It's like trying to light a fire with wet wood. By gently raising your pH with the correct dose of bicarbonate, we're creating the ideal environment for your body to efficiently produce and utilize NO, not only improving overall circulation, but also removing that metabolic handbrake that's been limiting your performance. Understanding this simple chemistry is crucial because it justifies the structure of the protocol we're going to implement, a structure meticulously designed to offer a dual daily action that maximizes these benefits: morning cleansing and nighttime regeneration. Here's how you'll begin. The Gold Protocol is simple in its execution, but powerful in its effect. 1. The morning dose, and 2. The nighttime dose. Let's talk first about the morning dose, which is what kickstarts your vascular system. This dose should be taken on an empty stomach, immediately after waking up. The amount is precise: 1/4 teaspoon dissolved in a glass of warm water. It's vital that this be taken at least 30 minutes before consuming any food, including coffee. And here's a crucial rule you must always remember. Under no circumstances should you add lemon to this mixture. This is crucial, my dear listeners, because if you add an acid like lemon or vinegar, you're negating the alkalizing effect before it even reaches your system. Baking soda is a base, and when mixed with an acid, an immediate chemical reaction occurs. They neutralize each other. It simply turns into salt, water, and carbon dioxide. Instead of providing that alkalizing aid to your blood, it creates fizz in the glass, which serves no therapeutic purpose. Even worse, if you consume the mixture with breakfast or immediately after a meal, the baking soda will come into contact with the hydrochloric acid in your stomach. If you do this consistently and without respecting your fasting period, you'll be inhibiting the production of stomach acid, which is essential for digesting proteins and absorbing vital nutrients like vitamin B12. Remember, moderation is the art of health, and the morning dose has a precise purpose: to perform a gentle cleanse, mobilize toxins accumulated overnight, and, most importantly, give the body that little boost of alkalinity before the day's digestive stress begins. This is a preventative and maintenance dose. If in the first few weeks you experience any mild digestive discomfort, perhaps a slight heartburn, simply reduce the amount to 1/8 teaspoon and adjust slowly. It's a sign that your stomach still has too much acid, and we're proceeding too quickly. Listen to your body. Now, let's talk about the second part of the protocol, the nighttime dose, which is equally crucial for regeneration and potency. But before we delve into nighttime routines, let me share a method that is perhaps the most effective for achieving deep, systemic alkalization without the slightest possibility of digestive conflict. Absorption through the skin. Think of your skin not just as a protective covering, but as our most extensive organ of detoxification and absorption. The alternative and highly potent method I recommend is the alkaline immersion bath. When you immerse yourself, you allow this crucial base to be absorbed directly into your bloodstream through your pores, completely bypassing the complex and delicate acid balance of your stomach. In this way, we ensure that the alkalizing effect reaches your cells directly and efficiently. The protocol is specific and must be followed to obtain the therapeutic benefits. You will need a bathtub with water as hot as you can comfortably tolerate, as heat is a key factor. It dilates blood vessels and enhances absorption. Dissolve a full glass, yes, a whole glass, of pure baking soda in the water. The goal is to saturate the water so that it acts as a powerful osmotic membrane. Remain immersed, in a state of total relaxation, for a minimum of 20 minutes. I suggest performing this ritual 3 times a week. This method has extraordinary benefits, especially for men's health. The combination of heat with systemic alkalinity dramatically improves peripheral circulation, which is essential for optimizing erectile function. Furthermore, the alkalinity absorbed at this deep level works to reduce the underlying chronic inflammation that is often responsible for prostate discomfort. It's a silent and restorative therapy that works while you rest. It reminds me of the story of a patient, Mr. Raphael. Mr. Raphael, a 72-year-old man, had been suffering from nocturia, the need to urinate several times a night, and very low energy. After incorporating alkaline baths, in just 2 weeks, the frequency of his nighttime awakenings was cut in half. But what was most surprising was what he said about his overall vitality. He told me, "Doctor, I feel like my blood is flowing again, like a clean river." This reflects the power of alkalinity to reduce blood viscosity and improve microcirculation. This improvement in circulation isn't just helpful for sexual function, it's a crucial systemic benefit, and it leads us directly to understanding how alkalinity prevents urinary tract infections and stones. Consider infections. Pathogenic bacteria, such as E. coli, thrive in an acidic environment, turning our unbalanced bodies into a perfect breeding ground. By gently alkalizing, we are changing the playing field. Bacteria cannot proliferate efficiently in an alkaline environment, which drastically reduces the likelihood of recurrent infections. This same principle applies to preventing kidney stones. Most stones are composed of uric acid or calcium oxalate, which tend to precipitate in acidic urine. More alkaline urine keeps these crystals dissolved and facilitates their elimination. Furthermore, we touch on another vital point: muscle relaxation. An acidic body retains metabolic waste products, such as lactic acid, causing stiffness and nighttime cramps. Alkalinity helps neutralize these residual acids. However, and this is the point I always emphasize, baking soda alone is not a miracle cure. It's a powerful tool, but it needs a solid foundation to work systematically and safely. If we want this cleansing process to be effective and lasting, we must provide the necessary support, which can be summarized in 4 fundamental pillars. The first and most basic is hydration. We need a constant flow of good quality water. 8 glasses a day is a good goal, because bicarbonate needs this aqueous vehicle to dissolve the crystals, neutralize the acids, and, crucially, for its byproducts and the neutralized acids to be eliminated by the kidneys without overloading them. If you consume alkalizing agents but are chronically dehydrated, you are concentrating the effect without the cleansing capacity. We cannot cleanse the body without water. The second pillar is essential for safety and electrolyte balance. Potassium. Remember, we're using sodium bicarbonate. To avoid imbalance, bloating, possible increase in blood pressure, or muscle imbalance, we need potassium to counteract the sodium. We must be diligent in incorporating natural sources rich in potassium: bananas, avocados, and especially leafy green vegetables like spinach. This balance is vital. The third pillar is the O-active reduction of acidic foods. It would be tremendous self-sabotage to take bicarbonate of soda while constantly flooding our system with major acid-producing foods, refined sugar, white flour, and alcohol. These foods force the body to work overtime to neutralize acid, negating any benefits that alkalinity might offer. We must lighten the metabolic load. And finally, this brings us to the fourth pillar, which is the pot-abundant consumption of green vegetables. Green vegetables not only provide potassium, but they are also the epitome of alkalinity. We're talking about chlorophyll, the green blood of plants, whose molecular structure is almost identical to human hemoglobin, except that it has magnesium at its center instead of iron. Magnesium is a crucial, often deficient mineral that helps relax muscles, improves sleep, and facilitates thousands of enzymatic reactions necessary for acid-base metabolism. By consuming these vegetables, we are providing the body with the natural buffers it needs. Think of a daily green smoothie, a large salad, or fresh juices as your metabolic insurance policy against accumulated acidity. These four pillars, water, potassium, acid reduction, and green vegetables, are the foundation for the safe and sustainable use of bicarbonate. Now, let's return to the technique we discussed at the beginning, for those seeking an extra digestive boost and deep alkalization that also respects enzymatic processes. The combination of baking soda with apple cider vinegar. I know it sounds contradictory, because vinegar is acidic, but here's where the chemical magic lies. We're using the acetic acid in apple cider vinegar, always organic, raw, and with the mother, to catalyze a reaction outside the body before ingestion. An alternative combination involves mixing a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda with a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar in a glass of water. You'll see vigorous fizzing. This fizz is carbon dioxide being released into the atmosphere. It's crucial to wait until the fizzing has almost completely subsided before drinking the solution. What remains after the reaction is over is not the original acidic mixture, but sodium acetate, which is alkalizing, along with the enzymes and prebiotic flora from the vinegar. This mixture, taken on an empty stomach, helps improve digestion and systemic pH, without causing the gastric discomfort that baking soda alone sometimes produces, especially when taken after eating. We've explored the responsible use of baking soda, understanding that it's a powerful tool that requires the unwavering support of the four pillars of metabolic safety: hydration, potassium, and vegetables. We've also discovered the magic of combining it with apple cider vinegar to achieve deep and safe alkalization. Now that you have the tools to safely balance your pH, I'd love to know, which of these alkalizing pillars or techniques will you integrate into your daily wellness routine first? Let me know in the comments. If you found this valuable information helpful and it resonated with you, I warmly invite you to subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications so you don't miss our weekly explorations of longevity and health, and share this fundamental knowledge with those you love who are seeking a more vibrant life. Thank you for joining me on this journey toward sustainable health. Until next time, take good care. I'm Dr. Elena Castillo.